Call of Duty World War II is the best COD game in years. COD World War II will revive the series. Call of Duty is back. These are some of the things we've been hearing lately, mainly by pretty much all of the big COD YouTubers. But is this really the case? I've been a COD fan for 6 years, and I truly want the best for the Call of Duty series, and I want COD World War II to succeed. But unfortunately, I see some major problems that can negatively impact the game and can hold it back from being the great World War II game it could be. Unfortunately, I was not fortunate enough to be able to play the game at E3, so I've had no hands-on time with the game at all. Because of this, a lot of the issues I'm going to be bringing up are not going to be issues you have to play the game to know. These are things that can be observed, some more clearly than others. Okay, so the first thing I want to bring up is historical accuracy. This is a very known issue with COD World War II a lot of people have been talking about lately, and most likely you guys have heard this before, but Call of Duty World War II is not historically accurate. I just don't understand how Sledgehammer goes through some of the lengths they do to make sure the game is a really immersive and a really believable World War II experience, then throw that all down the drain by removing the swastika for multiplayer and zombies and recreating the guns inaccurately and having female soldiers be featured in the game, which by the way isn't a sexism thing or anything, it's just that there really were no female soldiers in World War II. And I know some people are going to argue, oh, but it's just a video game, who cares if it's historically accurate? Well, it's true some people probably won't care if it's an incorrect depiction of World War II, but the game is being marketed as an immersive World War II experience, so Sledgehammer kind of has to fulfill on that. And also, it kind of makes sense to have it historically accurate, because that's what you would expect from a World War II game. It would be weird if they added the M16 into the game, because that just doesn't belong in a World War II game. So why is Sledgehammer adding things that don't belong and removing things that do belong? Now what about innovation? Innovation used to be the biggest deal when people talked about a new Call of Duty, and I feel like that's kind of taken a back seat to what time period the new game takes place in. What I mean by that is that people are caring more that the game is finally taking place in the past instead of the future, but hardly anyone's talking about what COD World War II is doing new for the franchise. So focusing solely on the multiplayer, what are some big new features? Well, we have a new game mode called War. I'm not going to explain it because you guys probably already know what it is, but judging by the gameplay I watched, it looks seriously flawed. The mode at this moment looks something like this. Attackers rush to build the bridge, get killed immediately, respawn, then repeat for the next couple of minutes. Once the bridge is built, the same thing happens again. This time it's planting a bomb instead of building a bridge. And once you're done planting the bomb, it's the same thing again, but this time you're escorting a tank. It's a cool concept, but the mode just turns into run to the objective, die, repeat, and then do that all again 2 more times. The next big innovation in COD World War II is that Divisions is replacing Create a Class. The last time we had a game that changed Create a Class this much was Call of Duty Ghost and its huge amounts of perks, and we all know that didn't go over well with the majority of the community. Most people like how Create a Class is at the moment with the Pick 10 system, so I guess only time will tell if Divisions ends up being successful. These 2 things are the only huge innovations in COD World War II I can think of. Of course there's smaller things like the kill cam being changed, headquarters being added, and the menu being changed. These things are kinda cool, but they won't define the game. So Sledgehammer has had 3 years to make a Call of Duty, and these are their best innovations to the series? I just don't get it. This game is being so hyped up, and for good reason too. The community has been worn out of the futuristic settings, and Infinite Warfare just didn't do it for most people. A World War II Call of Duty is exactly what everyone wants, but just because the game is set in the Second World War doesn't automatically make it a good game. I feel like a lot of people aren't understanding that, and the big Call of Duty content creators aren't helping much either. They all are hyping the crap out of this game saying, it's one of the best Call of Duties ever made, or COD is back, and for good reason too. A lot of these guys are praying that this is one of the best CODs ever made, and that Call of Duty really is back, because making Call of Duty YouTube videos is their job. Infinite Warfare left a lot of them with a smaller view and sub count, and COD World War II could turn that around for a lot of them, so they don't dare to talk too much crap about the game because it could end up hurting their channel. And this is kind of acceptable too. It's their jobs. They have to do what they have to do to make money. This means the rest of the community has to be aware. Don't let overhype kill this game. I'm worried it's going to be like Battlefield 1. People love it at the beginning because it's set in the past, but quickly get bored of it, and the player count drops a huge amount very quickly. I'm guessing only time will tell if this game lives up to the hype, or just ends up being a letdown. Thank you for watching.